What's happening, people? Welcome back to the show. This is another drive time update. We've got plenty of news, plenty of football news and transfers, all that kind of stuff to go through. Haven't done one of these in a couple of days now, so I thought I'd update you. But before we do that, of course, if you could smash that subscribe and bell notification button, and of course hit the like as well on the video. Thank you for all the subs that are happening at the moment. We're about 40 short of the road to 1,000, so of course if you could sub to the channel as well. We have been doing a bit of the analytics, and there's a number of you people out there at the moment enjoying the content but ghosting your responsibility. Get that subscribe button hit, please. Nearly 43% of you right now enjoying the content haven't hit the subscribe button. Absolutely shocking, as we put in a shift here each and every day between the shorts and the videos and the lives to bring you this fantastic content. So please, if you could, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to us, as we're on a road to 1k, trying to get there before the start of the season. So we've less than 3 weeks to go now, so pressure's on. Push us over that 1,000 subs. Right, let's get into this. First of all, thoughts and prayers go out to Trevor Francis' family. He sadly passed away today. He was the first £1 million player. Mad when you think about it. In the same day as the first £1 million player, we look at that Mbappe deal. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit as well. But obviously legendary status for Nottingham Forest as well, scoring that goal in the European Cup final and all, for Nottingham Forest to win the European Cup and all. Absolutely unbelievable. 626 games, 231 goals, an absolute legend of the game and an all-round gentleman as well. Renowned as well for his commentary as well. His commentary was very good as well, but a fantastic player. So R.I.P. Trevor Francis. Thoughts and prayers, condolences, the whole lot go out to his family at this very, very sad time. 69 years of age as well. Not an age to be passing away, really. Very, very young and stuff like that. Very, very sad. Don't know about you folks, but last night I was watching the US coverage over there as well, and really, really scary moment as well, seeing Shaka Hislop collapse and just fall forward into Dan Thomas's arms nearly and stuff like that. Absolutely feared the worst to see a lad just pancake a front bump like that. Really, really concerning. But the news is coming out, it's good. Went to hospital, got checked out, all seems good at the moment and stuff like that. So I'm sure they'll run a number of tests to try and figure out what happened there with Shaka. Great personality over there, especially on the American coverage of football and stuff like that and all. Very interesting character. Hopefully he'll be okay and he's on the mend. Sounds like things are all good at the moment, but it must have been such a fright even to see Dan Thomas's reaction and stuff like that. Very, very scary to see something like that happening, you know. My thinking is it was really, really warm there or something like that, so they're talking about some like a heat stroke thing or something like that, but we'll see. But at least he's on the mend and it seems like it's all good, so really, really important. Right, let's get into this deal. Kylian Mbappe, 300 million fee, 700 million a year in wages. Let me know your thoughts on this. How do you feel about this? This guy going over, potentially taking the bag. Hasn't been much talk from Mbappe's camp. We heard that PSG have accepted the deal. Well, of course they've accepted the deal. How could they not accept the deal? Only a year left on the guy's contract and stuff like that. When you're talking those kind of numbers, are we even talking about this being too much for the likes of Real Madrid? Is Saudi Arabia really the only place for this guy now when you're talking about that kind of wages? We're talking about, I think, somewhere in the region of 80 grand an hour. We're talking £22 a second or something like that. It's something absolutely astronomical and crazy. Certainly no one in the Premier League could look at it. And I don't even know, like, even if you look at Real Madrid and stuff like that, even with that good accounting in the La Liga, are they going to be able to, you know, FFP with this kind of a deal and stuff like that? Absolutely monstrous. So my thinking, the only place you can go really is the Saudi League in terms of that level of cost and wages and everything else. But absolutely crazy stuff. We know PSG have accepted the deal, so we're just waiting to hear back basically and see from Mbappe's side as he sits back in the sides whether he wants to earn 700 million a year and a 300 million transfer fee. I don't know, it's a real interesting one at the moment, isn't it? Saudi absolutely lay down serious markers at the moment with this kind of money and back that they're throwing at these players. Crazy stuff. But let me know your thoughts on it. Madness. people talking about this ruining football. I think the money in football was ruined a long time ago now. I think this is just the icing and the cherry on the cake of ruining football. But this is crazy stuff. We spoke about it on the show last week. We did a show this day last week on Monday about Saudi Arabia and how they could take very quick strides forward and stuff like this. We've seen what they've done with Live Golf and the PGA and stuff like that, and don't be surprised if they do the same thing in terms of the football world as well. A lot of people talking about, but for them to reach a top league status and stuff like that would take years and years and years. I don't know, sometimes you can circumvent those years when you have the wealth to do it. So let us know your thoughts. But scary stuff what's going on out there in Saudi Arabia in regards to football. Wilfried Zaha had a great contract offer from Crystal Palace. I think they offered him 200 grand a week on a 4-year contract or something like that. Massive money for a club like Crystal Palace. But Zaha turned it down, and looks like he's signed for Galatasaray now, which is kind of not I wouldn't say a strange location. Galatasaray, of course, are a huge club and stuff like that, but I wouldn't have thought that would be the location that he was going for. I would have thought he would have been going for somewhere else in the Premier League, maybe a top 7 or 8 club or whatever it is, or potentially there was talk that PSG were interested in him and stuff like that. And that beggars the thought as well, and beggars the question as well, if you think about it. If Mbappe is potentially going to exit the building, we know Messi has gone to Inter Miami. What a free kick the other day, by the way. But what does that mean now for Liverpool and Mo Salah? We know Mo Salah has close ties with PSG. He's been seen whining and dining with the owners and all that kind of stuff. So what does that now mean? Could Mo Salah potentially, could PSG come in for Mo Salah with Mbappe exiting the building? And could they come in with an offer that's potentially just too much for Liverpool to refuse? It would be absolutely shocking. Put us in a serious predicament then. But don't be surprised that happens. I spoke about it earlier in the summer, the moves that PSG were doing and changing their front line and all, that could have a huge effect, especially on Liverpool Football Club and Mo Salah. So let us know your thoughts on that as well. And on Zaha going to Galatasaray, I did not think that would be the location for him to go, but that's where he's gone. He's signed up, and it looks like Galatasaray got their man. Must have been a huge offer as well if he turned down Crystal Palace's one. Must have went for big money. Newcastle have signed Harvey Barnes, 38 million from Leicester. Great signing, really like that kid, big fan of him, stuff like that. We spoke about him ad nausea last year on the podcast and stuff like that. But there's also talk there at Newcastle as well. A number of Premier League teams have lodged a complaint in relation to the Alan Saint-Maximin deal, heading out to Al Ahly, I think it's called. 27 million, I think, is the deal. A number of Premier Leagues are complaining because of this PIF situation. We know that club has been controlled now by PIF, and we know that PIF are the major stakeholders as well in Newcastle during the takeover. So let us know your thoughts on this. I suppose the complaint, is kind of like a little insider trading, moving people around, stuff like that. But I don't think 27 million is an inflated price for Saint-Maximin in this current window and in this current climate with what players are selling and moving for. So I'm not too sure what the complaint is. Is it a complaint about PIF, or is the complaint about the actual fee? Like, I get it if, they're slapping down 70, 80, 90, 100 million on the boy. That's a kind of bit of insider trading, if you like, and stuff like that. But 27 million is not a huge price for Alan Saint-Maximin in a move to Saudi Arabia. I mean, to be honest, apart from Hendo's move, it's probably the second lowest move that's gone out to Saudi so far, apart from the boys that have gone on a free and stuff like that. So it's not huge money. So I'm not sure whether that complaint holds water, really. It's not like they've manipulated the market with insider trading and pumped them out for a huge price. Alan Saint-Maximin's fee is probably somewhere around the 30 million in the current climate and stuff like that. And actually, you could argue probably a little bit more, maybe, Premier League proven and all, So let us know your thoughts on it. He has had issues with his injuries and all that kind of stuff and all. But Newcastle fans, let us know what you think. Harvey Barnes in the door. Still plenty of work for Eddie Howe to do, no doubt. The boy Tonali looks good as well in pre-season. Alan Saint-Maximin potentially out the door as well. But what do you make of the move? What do you think the concerns are from these Premier League teams, stuff like that? Let us know your thoughts on that as well. Villa over the weekend confirmed the signing of Diaby as well. good meal for the boy as well. Emery doing serious business there at the moment, and now the talk is they've shifted their attention to the boy Doku. They're looking to bring in the boy Doku as well. So if they get Doku in the door as well, they're doing serious business at the moment, Aston Villa. And hats off to Emery for it as well, making serious moves in that market and stuff like that, you know. Man United look like they're fairly close to sealing the deal for Rasmus Højlund of Atalanta. Looks like the deal is closing in around the 3 to 5 million mark. That's how close they are to, not the actual fee, of course. The fee's probably going to somewhere around the 45 to 55 mark, I would imagine. But it looks like they're going to get the man. There was talk that PSG were looking at him as well, obviously with what's going on up there up front and stuff like that. Messi out the door, Mbappe potentially out the door, Neymar indicating he might be out the door, Verratti looks like he might be out the door. Huge changes at PSG at the moment, and there has been talk going around as well that the club might be put up for sale as well. So it'll be interesting to see, is this what they're doing at the moment? Are they moving some of those pieces of the jigsaw out of the building to prime the club for a sale? Let us know your thoughts on that anyway. And surely, I mean, there might be some stuff coming down the pan there in terms of financial fair play as well, when you think about the money they've been putting out there. Massive amounts of money and stuff like that. So let us know your thoughts. Maybe they're just trying to correct some of the FFP stuff by some of these moves and then potentially put the club up for sale. But let us know your thoughts on that as well. But yeah, Rasmus Højlund potentially in the door for Man United be another really, really good signing, and United have looked pretty decent in pre-season, in fairness. That match against Arsenal the other night, Arsenal didn't fancy it at all. United looked reasonably impressive. Liverpool pre-season today, another game. Not too sure what I think of this. Finished 4-4. Mo Salah getting the equaliser. But yeah, another strange outing for Liverpool. Game of two halves. Second half really, really poor. Creating lots of chances and stuff like that, just not as clinical as we want to be. But second half, when things went a little bit awry for us, and listen, hats off to that German team as well, second division German team. Actually, at times in that second half, we looked like second division and they looked like Bundesliga, to be honest. Some of the goals they scored were absolutely exquisite. That movement one that came in, finished. A couple of really, really good goals that they scored and stuff like that. We were really poor. Midfield was shambolic in its protection of the back line. The back line was all over the place. Absolutely rudderless second half, leaderless second half, and those concerns still remain. Those issues still remain from last season. If you look what happened today, once we coughed up a goal or two and they got back into the game, abandoned our shape, abandoned our pattern, whatever that was, with 11 guys on the pitch, it looked like they'd never kicked the ball together, and it was just really, really, really worrying. So let us know your thoughts on that, Liverpool fans. I will be doing a show later in the week, I think Friday, with Henry on Henry Ray Baker's channel, and we'll be talking about the pre-season so far. I don't understand it. I thought what happens is you would build against your pre-season, elevating it all the time, all the way up to the point where boom, you're ready to go then for the Premier League. This looks like a little bit all over the place, a bit haphazard at the moment. The quality of the opposition, if you look at it, 3 German teams, not very, very good. Then Bayern Munich, obviously decent level, and then Leicester as well. So it's off to Singapore now for the game against Leicester and Bayern Munich. But if you look at Leicester are a pale shadow of the club, of the squad that they were and stuff like that. So it's kind of really, really poor opposition, but we're making it tough. Like if you look at the game even the other day, you know what I mean, struggle, got 2 late goals to make a 4-2 and put a bit of gloss on it. Some nice sort of intricate play and stuff the other day. Kind of looks like the other day there was a bit of a plan and a purpose to what we were trying to do, but today just looked all over the shop. Just looked all over the shop at times. And again, you have to take into account the opposition that we're playing against, which is really, really important when you're taking these things into account, you know. Finish out with Fulham. A lot of stuff going on at Fulham at the moment. They've been linked with a £5 million move for Raul Jimenez off Wolves. I was talking to Darren about this yesterday, and he was going, Really poor time for Fulham at the moment. The boy Palhina picked up a shoulder injury. Not sure if it's a collarbone or what it is, or how long it's going to keep him out, and whether he was probably going to stay there or not. He was linked with my own team, Liverpool. Mitrovic totally wants out of the building. That lad's willing to go on strike. I know he's gone on tour with them, but he said he won't be kicking a ball for them in the league, that he wants out. There's talk of this massive offer from Marco Silva. The manager might be exiting the building, 20 million a year, 2-year contract out in Saudi Arabia. Massive money again. And then the boy Jimenez coming in the door, you know, potentially to replace Mitrovic. Not a great uplift really, if you think about it. Jimenez, since the head injury, has really struggled to hit form and stuff like that, you know. We know the quality that the player can be, but can he rediscover that form, or has that form gone? And what do you make of it, Wolves fans, as well? Do you seem to be selling off a lot of the crown jewels? Ruben Neves exiting the building, you know, Podence potentially going out of the building, not sure if he's gone yet, he might be even gone, you know, Kilman linked with moves away. Lots of these players linked with moves away and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts on that, Wolves fans. I think you're in a little bit of bother there. I think you could struggle this season when you look at the quality of the player that's going out the door versus what's potentially coming in. But again, let us know your thoughts. I don't have the full picture of Wolves at the moment, but when I hear the likes of Neves, Podence, Kilman, you know, these have been big players for Wolves, you know. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on that one as well. That's it, folks. That's your roundup for today. As I said already, please subscribe to the channel if you're watching the content and enjoying it. If you're one of that 43% that's ghosting me, hit that subscribe button, of course. Show your support for the channel and the work that we do. Like on the video, hit that bell notification for when we're going live. I will be back tomorrow night. I'm going to do a review show of Abdullah the Butcher, Dark Side of the Ring, for all you pro wrestling fans. Another really tough episode to get through, but again, we'll drop a review on that tomorrow evening. Thursday I'm going to be on with Dazzler. We're doing a preview for SummerSlam. Most of that card is taking shape at this stage, so we'll let you know what's happening there. Off to the Motor City in Detroit the following week for SummerSlam. We'll continue our coverage of Liverpool's pre-season. We'll be talking about on Friday on Henry's channel. Don't forget to check out Warren's Team Talk as well. We did an interview there last Friday, I think it was. Went on for 2 hours 46 minutes, all about my life as a Liverpool fan and football and growing up, and you know, gets fairly personal, goes fairly deep, bit of crack in it, bit of serious in it, as you'd expect from an interview. Check that out, let me know what you think of it. If you have any questions, of course, hit me up. If you want to contact us on the show, of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's all the upper tier. The Liverpool stuff is the Shankly Sessions, and the audio versions of the show are on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music and Spotify. Until next time, folks, absolute pleasure.